Well, fantastic. So put in the chat box where you're from. I mean, we've got Alan and I on completely different parts of the world. I'm in Cape Town in South Africa.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, as they say.
Amazing stuff. So put in the chat box there where you're from so that people who are here for the first time can truly see that this is an international community. Mallorca, amazing stuff. Belgium, oh, there we go. Canada. More South Africa, so fantastic. Thank you so much for your time on a Friday. We've got some exciting things to share.
Germany, Namibia, Bavaria. See, people outside the United States don't think we even know how to pronounce those countries here.
Free geography lesson for every Gift of Legacy participant.
2 from the UK, Irma, welcome.
So I think the latest count is it's over 100 countries now GL's got participants in. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
So
crazy. 103, Chris says. 103, but who's counting? That's what he said. That's amazing. That is amazing. You know, interesting to talk about that because, you know, it just goes to show you when you have your hands on something good, you can't slow it down even if you wanted to, as evidenced by, you know, the ever-growing need for us to have a more robust system to be able to service everybody that wants to participate in such a wonderful gifting activity. I'm super excited about being on today with Tim because he's an amazing guy. Honestly, I've listened to him a couple of times and then somebody put my name in the hat and then all of a sudden Candace reached out to me and here I am. So it is an honor and privilege. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce Tim to you guys for everybody that doesn't know. Tim was in the hospitality industry for 27 years. My goodness gracious, that is a long time. And it just so happens, Tim, that 27 is my lucky number. If you're into numerology at all, it means a lot to me. So I was kind of crazy when I read that. He was in that industry right up until 2018, which he had an epiphany at that time, like most of us do at some point. And that was that he decided to pursue his own business dreams and goals because, you know, as they say, it's better to be building your own dream, right? You're in control of it. You can control how fast you go. And when you have that sort of thought run through your head and realize that you were divinely created to be able to achieve anything that you set your mind to, that we all have that ability, it is truly freeing. So congratulations, my brother. That was a great decision, one I made a long time ago. He now considers himself a digital nomad going all across the country. He's got a beautiful bride, a couple of fur babies. I have 3 myself, and they are just like kids. It's insane. Some of his passions include personal development. Guys, it's absolutely true. You know, you've heard the phrase garbage in, garbage out. Super important that what you feed yourself in your self-talk is the things that you should be hearing, because Lord knows there's enough outlets out there that will feed you everything you shouldn't hear. So again, I'm a big personal growth and development guy. I love it. I love to hear people that are into that. So Tim and I are going to be brothers for a long time. And his true passion is in helping others realize the goal. In other words, you know, knowledge is one thing, but on a shelf, it's just dusty. When you apply that knowledge, especially when you apply it to helping others, then you really have your hands on something. And that's what he's done. And that's where his passion lies. And so I think most of us here, and I speak for everybody without any fear of contradiction in Gift of Legacy, are here because we have that passion of helping others succeed. It's no fun climbing the mountain by yourself. You want to bring as many friends, as many new friends, as many people as you can. So he has a high value placed on health, on wealth, and on education, which I don't think there can be enough of these days. So again, it is just my distinct pleasure, honor, and privilege to be on a call, talking to all of you all over the world with Tim. I'm excited about that.
Amazing. Thanks so much for the introduction, Alan. And just listening to how you describe me, I actually want to hear myself speak. I'm quite interested to hear what I'm going to come up.
I love it.
We've got a lot of very close synergies there with your passion that you've also got in personal coaching. You've got a lot of experience in background. Alan is well versed in cryptocurrencies and the financial markets and investment strategies. And I was reading a little bit on his bio here earlier on. I mean, he's been an entrepreneur in his own right since 2009, but does come from a strong corporate background as a chief technology officer for Otis technology software firm. So he's a man of corporate background and also his own businesses, and also a lot of knowledge in financial side of things. Add to that his passion for helping other people, as he's described, and his faith really aligns so well why he's here co-hosting with me this evening. So I think bringing in our families. Alan's also married 32 years. He's got quite a few more years on the practice on there as well. One beautiful daughter and his wife, Brenda, by his side. So family people as well. And I think there's some great synergy. So I'm going to now, what we're going to do this evening is the first time Alan and I are co-hosting together. So I love sharing and learning about new people as well. And we're always looking for others around the world who get the passion that we've got in Gift of Legacy to put their hand up and say, hey, I'm willing to join and contribute and assist. And I'm going to be covering some of that right at the end. So please stay to the end. We are going to try and keep this to 1 hour. It is a Friday here, and it is an evening in South Africa and other times all over the world. So we're not going to go further than the 1 hour slot, but stay right to the end. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And we're going to get straight in. I'm going to start. I'm going to go through a bit of an overview. There we go. You can see that screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect stuff. Oh, thank you. It helps if I start at the beginning, I suppose. Right. Okay, let me try this again. Dear. Sorry about that. I was running through it earlier. Left it in the world. I live on a laptop, but here we go. All right. Let's try again. All right, we're there. Great stuff. So I'm going to go through who Gift of Legacy is, why we do what we do, and then Alan's going to come in and share a lot of the numbers and the nuts and bolts, which is really a lot of his expertise and knowledge there in what you actually do in order to take advantage and capitalize for yourself and also those around you. So Gift of Legacy is about creating abundance. When I first heard about a gifting economy, it was January of last year. It came to me at a very profound time in my life where I just lost a lot of money. A business partner had run off with a huge amount of money. Over the years, I've had some very expensive educations working online. And so when I first heard about the gifting economy, I listened to it out of respect for the person who presented to me. But as I was going through it, there were some real golden nuggets that struck home that solved a lot of the ongoing problems that I've been finding for the past 6, 7 odd years, working in online, working in cryptocurrencies and online investments and so on. And I really saw that there was some power in it, and I joined immediately, figuring the best way to learn truly what this is about was from the inside. But you maybe not going to captivate that as quickly as, or capture it as quickly as I did, and that's fine. And that's why we are here 3 nights a week at the moment, and there's recordings available and a lot of training and Q&A sessions available for you where you can then get that information. So make notes. If you've got any questions, make a note, get back to the person that invited you. Join our session on Monday evening. It's going to be a massive one with Chris and Candace on Monday evening as well. And join again to listen to other presenters. But I'll be sharing that a little bit with you a little bit later. So as an introduction, Gift of Legacy is a gifting economy. Now, I'd never heard of this before. So when it was presented, now I've understood about giving and receiving and the power of giving in order to be able to receive. I've been a giver all my life. And over the last year, I've actually had to learn how to receive as well, which has been quite an amazing goal of mine, is to also receive, because you should. And you're going to be learning now about how this whole gifting economy has already been changing lives for many, many years and helping millions around the world. Now, Gift of Legacy itself has only been live since the beginning of January this year. But as you've heard already, in over 103 countries, and near on 200,000 people around the world are already being impacted by what we have to offer. So I'm going to just leave this up. You can read it for yourselves. The reality of the financial world at the moment is that it's changed. It's not changing. It has already changed. Really been pushed forward by the last few years of what's gone on in the economies of the world, with what the governments are doing, with just an absolute change in the paradigm shift of money. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you have a choice. We all have a choice. We can either be part of the process and understanding that there is a need to act within our financial circumstances of ourselves differently, learn some new skills in order to be part of this new shift. That's where they're talking about sharing, caring, and the gifting economies and being self-sufficient communities. Now, as Alan said, we travel, my wife and I, since June last year. We've been traveling around South Africa. And one of the things that we've noticed is how the communities, the small communities, are thriving, whereas the big cities seem to be struggling. And this is where self-sufficient community living, and that's where that comes into play. And that's where gifting economies and the giving and receiving are so powerful. A short disclaimer: Alan, myself, none of the presenters, anybody part of Gift the Legacy are registered financial advisors or tax advisors. We're purely here to share information with you. This mustn't be construed, please, as financial advice. This information given is only intended as an example of what is possible. And I would add on the end there, possible if you follow the predetermined system that has been created for us. So who's this for? If I have a look at myself, when I first registered in a gifting economy, it was for me. I needed extra cash flow. As I said, I lost a lot of money already. But everybody's in a different position. So initially, I needed cash flow in order to be able to multiply that. And over the years, I've been learning different seminar, different time, about the need for having 7 income streams. So this has been a focus and a goal, is the additional income or cash flow coming from gifting economy. What do I do with it in order to live the lifestyle that I want? So whether it is for your own personal gain, and the saying being, put your own oxygen mask on before you help others. Well, that was when I first started. And over the past year and a few months, so my reason for being part of this, my why, has changed and adapted. And it's not only about me, it's about nonprofits. I have my own nonprofit for animal welfare. I'm going to cover some of that at the end. It's also about a massive portion of now sharing and helping others learn what I've learned to be able to capitalize, as I've been doing as well. So whatever your reason is, you never know, this might be what you've been looking for to help just fill that gap and take control of your life. So what is this all about? Well, as you've heard, and this needs to be updated every week, really, no limitation of borders. This is a global community. This is about uplifting yourself, your family, your communities, your churches, maybe the others around you, people that work for you, anybody that is part of those, it's about uplifting and helping them to get abundance, and also self-development. I think that's a very important part. And this is where Alan and I know we're going to agree directly on. Self-development is a critical part of what we talk about here. If I look at myself in hospitality, when I first started in online businesses, if I'd taken the same knowledge as I'd had in hospitality and applied it, I would not be able to be living the lifestyle that I'm blessed to be living at the moment. I needed to learn some new skills as I went along, and that would apply to anybody. So we've got a lot of education available for you. We do educations on Saturdays. We have a lot of YouTube videos for you, and also on the platform, there's a whole self-development section to teach you how you can capitalize on what we have. Sacred economics is all about the giving and receiving. Now, in Africa, we call it Ubuntu culture. I think in most countries around the world, there's a terminology which you use, which is all about communities helping each other in the upliftment of others. But this type of culture and giving and receiving in communities is not new. You can go back to the beginning of any recorded writings, and it's always about the helping of others. And that's exactly where we're getting back to now. Being off the mainstream media, so if you haven't sort of connected with something like this before, been presented with a gifting economy before, well, maybe there's a reason for that, because it's been around and I hadn't heard about it until last year, but I've been working online, so perhaps I just wasn't ready for it until the beginning of last year. Blessing Millions. You've heard some numbers of where Gift of Legacy is going. The projected numbers are, sure, maybe under-projected for what we're expecting to come. But the reality is that this is about sharing wealth and putting it in the hands of as many people as possible. Millions of dollars are getting shared globally in different gifting economies. And we're going to explain to you why this gifting economy could be slightly different. And from personal experience, I've seen that it is from many others which are available. It's all about giving hope, education, and blessing people with abundance. Now, one of the key things that caught me, what I call my golden nuggets about GL, is it's decentralized. It's not owned by a company. There's no institution. There's no broker. And you'll hear as Chris goes through some of the numbers, as Alan goes through some of the numbers, is that, in fact, GL actually has no funds. And I'll share some of that at the end with you as well. So there's no monthly fees, which I thought was another big golden nugget for me as well. The system, GL, is purely there to operate or manage, let's say, what we call the boards, and Alan will describe that for you, to make sure that it operates in this wonderful algorithm that we have, that our developers put into place for us, that it operates. So very decentralized, not owned by anybody, which is a critical element for me, and meaning that no one holds your money. You're in complete control of that. And not having a company means that once this is set, this is the way that it is, and it doesn't get changed and adapted. That's problems I've had. What do you need? You do need an active internet. You can operate this on a smartphone, but you do need WhatsApp, Telegram to stay connected. Now, here's another key golden nugget for me, peer-to-peer, meaning person to person. As I've said, Gift of Legacy holds no funds of yours. In fact, you pay them nothing. There's no monthly fees. Okay? That's a powerful thing when you're sharing the money from one person to another. And in fact, all that this system does when you register, is it connects people and shares the contact details so that people can then connect with each other in order to gift each other. So person to person. I've been involved in too many platforms where somebody else is in control of the money and poof, off it goes. And 1 minute they're there, the next minute they're not. So when there's no tokens on a platform, it gets to as 100% risk-free as I've ever come across in my years. Perpetual income was something which was very elusive to me. And I've been around long enough to have been invited to perpetual income environments where they've not been real. However, in this environment, I found that once you've done the work once, you actually can, as long as you're following the system and you repeat it over and over again, no need to change and break it. You take what's been created, you learn about it, you reproduce it, you share it. Then you can start earning perpetual income, which I really liked. After 27 years in hospitality, I did the work once and everybody stopped paying me. So I figured to do this once and be paid over and over again was a pretty powerful way of getting some ongoing income. So you'll notice there's more than gifting economy or a community, and we're going to share a lot about our charities towards the end, which has been recently launched only a week ago. So if you're about helping others, and as Alan said, this is where there's so many people in our community. It's all about helping each other. If that's something that's very powerful for you, and you really want to build a legacy, then perhaps our community has got some like-minded goals, and we're here to change lives. So I'm going to hand over now. I'm going to be controlling the screen here, and Alan's going to be taking you through how do you start, and are the numbers actually worth it? Over to you.
That's awesome. So thank you, Tim. I am a notes guy, especially when someone is as articulate and clear at explaining something as Tim just was. You guys just saw 5-star. I'm telling you, I've got a page full of notes here. And honestly, I could go on for 30 minutes just on some of these things, but I just want to recap a couple of things before I start getting into this slide. Okay. It was timing. It came to him at a profound time. You guys, there is so much to that. I'm not going to unpack that. Okay. But that is a key thing. If you believe like I believe, and I'm not trying to push my faith on everybody, timing is everything. It will come to you in its time, right? It checked all of the boxes. So obviously he had a list of things that he was trying to satisfy to determine whether it was going to be something that he wanted to put his good name on, something that he could devote his time to. And I love that too, because both of those things right there absolutely resonate with me. And then I've got a bunch of them here. There's two more I want to talk about. He joined immediately. Why? Because we listen and read to probably some of the same material. And here's what we both know. Success makes decisions quickly, and it changes its mind slowly. Now, I've modified that saying to say successful people. Look, success is a thing, all right? It's out there in the ether. It's available for everybody. Success is looking for you, okay? It's knocking on your door. It's going to be up to you to receive it, and that's the other point. He had to learn to receive. Unfortunately, many of us don't feel that we're worthy, and I promise you that you are. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I could spend a whole entire Saturday training going over those points because they're so right on point, and just love the way that the first half of this was articulated to you. So I'm going to go fast here, you guys. So put on your thinking caps, because here's where we're going to go. All right. So all this wonderful stuff that Tim just gave us, how do I get started? I want to be a part of it, right? As I said early on, and Tim reiterated, we're in this to help people. Why? Because it is an innate part of your personality to be a part of something larger than yourself. There is no better feeling in the world, whatever that is, your church, however you believe, whatever it is you're doing, when you're involved in a gifting community. And I'm along with Tim. I never heard it like that before. And I thought, wow, this is a great idea. And so you enter Gift of Legacy on what's called a bronze board. There are 4 boards, and we'll talk about those in a minute, by giving an unconditional gift. Okay. It's probably going to be to someone you don't know in a lot of cases. That's okay. Have faith, jump off the cliff, build the plane on the way down. I promise you that over 200,000, 20 people or whatever, 100, whatever we're at, right? The psychotic growth that we're in have done the same before you. So there's no risk here, all right? And you're going to take $100 out of your bank account, out of your Zelle account, out of your Wise account, wherever you have it, out of your crypto account, once and once only. And that's the only time that you're going to take money out of your pocket is once. So the gifting is purely peer-to-peer. That was also a super big checkbox for me, as it was for Tim, and it is for many of us, because when there's no middleman, there's no rug pull, there's no disappearing money, there's no money on a platform that someone pulls the plug on. 100% of all gifts are sent directly to your bank account of choice, whether that's your crypto wallet, whether that's a direct wire, whatever it is, directly from me to you. I met you at the coffee shop, I handed you a $100 bill. Same idea. So you're gonna have to do something here, though, you guys. Okay. All right. Just like Tim said, whenever you get involved in something new, there's a couple of super simple things that you're going to have to learn to do, right? You're going to have to follow, and I love how you put this, the predetermined system, just like a recipe, right? If you want to make a cake, you don't follow the system for cooking a steak, or you don't end up with cake, you end up with steak, right? So you're going to follow this predetermined system. You're going to learn a couple of simple things like how to use Wise, how to use World Remit, how to get familiar with crypto. I promise you, you're more familiar with crypto even if you don't even know what a cryptocurrency is, right? Then you know. So there's never a middleman. There's never a third party involved ever. And that was a big deal for me as well. So moving from there, here's what I want you to do. We call these the boards of abundance. Why? Because when you get through them one time, you're going to have $42,700 or very close to that. It's probably going to be more. So I want you to focus on this orange dot throughout these next few slides, right? So you join the board, should be one smooth motion. My friend calls me, they have influence. I listen to them because they're successful. They say, hey, here's this idea. I say, great, let's do it. He registers me, I join the board, I click on the legend button, which we're going to go through in a minute, and I gift as soon as the legend tells me how to do it. One fluid motion. Doesn't work like this. Yeah, I registered, 3 weeks later, I joined, 4 weeks later, I gifted. Come on. No, that isn't how this works. So share the gift of legacy with like-minded people. In other words, you're a go fast person. You're that person of success. You make that quick decision. That's who you're looking for. You're not looking for somebody you have to drag along, because you'll have to drag them along in everything they ever do. And remember, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? If that's how they are, that's how they are. Bless their hearts. They need the hopes and prayers. Okay. So you want to find people like yourself, ready to get into the game, get off the bench and make things happen. So there's 4 boards: a bronze, a silver, a gold, and a platinum. And they have $1 of value attached to them in USD of 100, 400, 1,600, and 5,000 bucks. You are going to journey through the board by following our predetermined system with the assistance of an algorithm. Now, I've had many people say, an algorithm, man, that sounds, whoa, way out there. It is not. An algorithm, look it up. Okay, once you read the definition, you'll be like, oh, is that all it is? It's just a set of instructions logically put together to accomplish a thing, right? You have algorithms when you go to bed, probably. I brush my teeth, I look at my wrinkles, I put on a nightshirt and I go to bed. Whatever your algorithm is, right? That's all it is, set of instructions. So once you've gone through those 4 boards one time, along the way, you're going to be able to net, okay, not gross, net, pocket, at least 42,700 bucks. Once you complete a board and you rejoin, which we're going to show you exactly how it works in just 1 second, you are on a perpetual journey. Okay, remember this is key, and you'll get this down the road. There are no perpetual boards, only perpetual people, or people that are on a perpetual journey. Second time through, you have the opportunity for gifts of 49,700 bucks. And it just repeats over and over and over again. Perpetual income, residual income, income that doesn't require your grinding day to day to day. Chris might disagree with me, because the people that are at the core of this, they have been grinding on your behalf. I can't tell you the debt of gratitude that we all need to have for the core group, the Candaces, the Chris's, all these guys. And I, pardon me for not naming everybody, Tim for one, who've been here since the beginning, providing such a wonderful community and opportunity for all of us. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring. So let's move forward from here. We're going to go through the boards here real quick. I want you guys to get ready for the ride of your life. It's exciting to me. I'm a math and numbers guy. And all an algorithm is a set of mathematical instructions that are going to lead you to a result. And if you follow the predetermined system, as Tim put it so well, success is inevitable. Money is inevitable. So here's how it works. Every board is identical. Okay, what you see in front of you is a board which is called a bronze board. They all look the same, with the caveat of they either say bronze, silver, gold, or platinum at the top. But there is, once you learn what I have right in front of me here, it's rinse, repeat 4 times. That's it. So don't get caught up in complexities, because really there aren't any here. So here's what happens. You'll notice that there's a left hemisphere and there's a right hemisphere. Left side, right side, call them what you want. There's a left side, right side. That's how it works, right? And they mirror each other, okay? So on each side, there are 4 gifters, 2 builders, 1 guide, and then there is 1 person who has earned their way. Remember, they've earned their way. They've spent their time to become the legend of the board. They're the board owner. They're the person who's in a position to receive the good and given gifts from the gifters on the board. So everybody has a role. You'll see that these are named, these are numbered, gifter 1, 2, 3, and 4 down the left, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8 down the right. The algorithm actually operates a little bit differently. On the right-hand side, it's actually 5 on the bottom, 8 on the top. So if you'll go ahead and click, and when you enter the board, okay, with your $100 and gift, and then the board splits 3 times and you're on the legend position, you're going to exit with $800. Here's how that looks. Okay, so like I said, you have the gifter positions 1 through 4 and 5 through 8 on the board. You're going to come in assuming that you're the first person on the brand new board, because that's what it looks like. There's already 4 builders, 2 guides, and a legend. You come in first. That's going to be where the algorithm puts you, is in the first open position. All right. So you gift your $100 and there you are. Then the balance of the gifter positions begin to fill up. So they contact the legend and they gift their $100. And I want to pause right there on 8. Okay. Okay. This is where I get blown away, right? That's the responsibility for this to occur falls on all 4 builders, both guides and the legend. You want to fill your board up as quickly as humanly possible. And this is where I use sports analogies. And I'm a big sports guy, right? On a hockey team, on a soccer team, on a rugby team, pick your sport. There's always some superstars. There's always some better players on your team than, everybody was playing at the exact same level. There'd be such parity. There'd be no point in playing the game, right? So if there's somebody on your board who's a little bit better at it, please don't be a blessing blocker. Use your skills and ability to move the entire community, just your board, but it actually helps the entire community to move forward. So yes, there is a rule or a guide that says you only are required at a minimum to be average to put 2 people in. And guys, if that's all you've got, we are grateful for those 2 people. Has to be at least 2. But if you're like me, and I guarantee you like Tim and many of the rest of us, nobody wakes up in the morning and looks in the mirror and goes, gee, I hope I'm average all day long. I hope my dogs are average. My family's average. I live in nobody wants an average life. So just do the right thing. If you're a big player on the board, play big. Don't play small. So once all 8 of those gifts go to the legend, what happens? The board splits. All right. The legend receives his $800. You can go ahead and advance if you want. And you move up from the gifter. You see, remember I told you guys follow the orange bouncing ball. You are now going to be a builder. All of the gifters move to a builder's position when the board is destroyed and 2 new boards get created. All right. So again, it's just a rinse and repeat process. All we need to do is fill. This is the new team, 4 builders, 2 guides, and a legend, to fill that new board, that new team up, right? And you want to get with people when they're excited, you guys, okay? When people are excited, the best time to talk to them about this, and Tim said it best, timing was everything for him, all right? You're going to catch some people that just aren't in a frame of mind to participate in anything, right? And don't begrudge them of that, right? I mean, that's their choice. You're looking for those that are looking for you. We fill it up again. Now you're going to move from where you are as a builder to when the board splits the next time, it's going to move you to the guide. Guess what? You are 1 board split away from being in a position to be able to enjoy the abundance. So the same thing happens. New team, 2 new builders, 4 new builders, I should say, 2 new guides, 1 new legend. We filled the board. And the board splits again. And guess what? Guess where you are? You are in a position to receive. Now, and we'll park here for just 1 second. Go ahead. You can go ahead and fill those in. It is everybody's responsibility, you guys, to move the team along as quickly as we can. If the big spot in the center was a hole, if we have everybody picking up a shovel, we're going to fill up the hole faster. So please, pay attention, because this doesn't just affect you. It's not just about you. In fact, there's over 200,000 people that are counting on you to do your tiny little part, right? And that's what we want to do. So now you've made it to the bronze board. You entered with 100. You're about to exit with 800. Here's what it looks like. All right, there's the 800. All right, and here's what now you have some things that you need to do. Remember, predetermined system. This is going to be without question exactly what you do. So hopefully along the way, and of course, naturally, I understand some people start receiving extra money. They have places for it to go. Be very careful about spending any more money than $300 first times through a bronze board, because you need some of that money. You need to hold back 400. Why? Because now you're going to start to get into the meaningful money. Not that $800 is not, but the real meaningful money. And you're going to hold back $100 so that you can get perpetual on another bronze board. What does that mean? Remember, first time through 42.7, second time through 42.9 is, or whatever it is. I might have misquoted that. It's more than that, actually. But what you're going to do is you're going to take 500, 400 for a silver board, 100 for the bronze board to re-enter it, and you're going to net $300. So you've turned a $100 bill into a $300 bill. I'll do that all day long. That's how it works. It doesn't get any more difficult than that through the rest of the boards, but we're going to show you what happens when you become perpetual and what it looks like. So you have, notice the words at the top, it doesn't say perpetual board, it says perpetual position. So you're going to re-enter that bronze board, and instead of having to hold back 400 to join a silver, you don't have to do that anymore. So what's that make your net? $700 in pocket, over and over and over and over again. So long as we do what? So long as we use the predetermined system, so long as we're a self-sustaining, self-policing environment or family or community to make sure that nobody's out there doing nefarious stuff. And I promise you, it's like neighborhood watch. I don't know if they have that in all parts of the world, but here they do, where a group of people get together and they're just on the lookout, right? That's what we need to do too, because this is a good thing that we want everybody to be able to benefit from. So we want to make sure that it stays pristine, that it has high level of integrity and continues on the way that it is. So there you go. There's a perpetual position on a bronze board. So now what happens? You've rejoined it and you've joined the silver board. You already have the $400 because you didn't go out and do the irresponsible thing and spend it. You click on join, you click on the legend, you find out how they want their gift, and you accommodate. It's as simple as that. Remember, I said this at the onset, right? When you learn the bronze board, you learn the entire thing. In fact, the bronze board is more difficult than any other board. That's where you're going to put in your work. So right now, you're on the silver board. This question comes to me a lot. Do I have to recruit 2 new people on the silver board? No, that is not how it works. The algorithm is now taken over here. If you're going to introduce this to 2 new people, it's going to be, if you want to, again, don't be a blessing blocker, it's going to be on the bronze board. Silver board is going to take care of itself. So how does that work? You enter with 400, the gifter positions all fill up, the legend exits with 3,200. Board splits 3 times, you're the legend, and guess what? You exit with 3,200. So here's what that looks like. All right, once you've received that, you're going to do again what you did. Again, you'll hear me see these words, are my favorite words, rinse and repeat, because, it's a Pavlov's dog theory. It's cause and effect. Do the exact same thing over 1,000,000 times, you're going to get the same results. Just the way it works. And that's how this system works. It's a series of instructions. So you're holding back 1,600. Why? So you can join the next board. You're going to hold back 400. Why? So you can become perpetual on your silver board. Same things that happen with bronze, and you're going to net now $1,200 instead of $300. So you're up to $1,500 that you never had. You've magically turned a $100 bill into a $1,500 bill. That excites me. I don't know about you guys. And it isn't that Alan's going to have a $1,600 bill and Tim's going to have an $1,100 bill. It's a system. It's mathematical. Everybody is going to have a $1,500 bill at this time. So that's how that works. You become perpetual on the gold board, or the silver board at that time. And you do the whole rinse repeat thing over again, over and over and over again. But because you don't have to hold back the $1,600 second time through on your perpetual journey, now you're netting $2,800 a pop. You guys, this starts to get real right now. I mean, it did before me. I mean, all I needed to see was a silver board. I'm like, holy smokes. Right. And my family's been blessed financially because I've worked really hard for it. And I don't mind admitting it. God's been good to me because he's blessed us with it. But the reality of it is, when you see something like this, got to do this. Why? Not for me. I promise you, not for me. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I find this kind of money under a rock, I'm going to move the rock and pick up the bag, right? But I know so many people that could benefit from this, where those dollars mean so much more in their lives than they currently have. So we're on the gold board. What happens? You get into the gold board. What do? You click the legend button. You find out how they want their gift, probably crypto at this point because of the amount. And you're going to send that to them. But they may take a bank wire if you're in the same country, or if you happen to be in the same town, you might meet them for coffee and they just hand you 16 $100 bills, whatever it is, right? So you enter with 16. What are you going to exit with? Oh my gosh, I get fired up right here. Okay, so when you exit this board as the legend who's received all 8 gifts, you are going to have, and I don't see it on the screen, it's $12,800. Is your clicker not clicking? There it is, $12,800. When you exit, okay, now we're talking fat, PHAT, money, big dollars, lots of cheddar, as we say here, right? Lots of cheddar. So what are you going to do? Same thing. Are you guys starting to get this? Okay, Pavlov, ring the bell. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to hold back $5,000. Why? Because you got one more board to upgrade to. That's the platinum board. You need the $5,000 to be able to give the legend who's earned his way up there that money. Okay, notice I keep saying earned their way up there. They've already, anybody who's a legend when you join the board has already done everything I'm teaching you to do right here, right now. You're going to hold back $1,600. Why? Because now you're going to be perpetual gold. What does that mean? Oh my gosh. You pocket $6,200 plus your $1,500. Now you've got significant money and you start being perpetual on 3 boards at once. We're showing you just the gold board here, but look at this. Every time you make that 3 split trip and you're the guy, and you start receiving $1,600, maybe some days you get 3 of those gifts. Oh, is that a good day, right? $11,200 a throw perpetual through those boards. This is significant, you guys. It's significant. I get excited about it because I know it's just math. I know it will work if what? We work, okay? We work. Do your part. This is a community, not a singular effort. If the community just all does the minimum of bringing 2 people, this will never stop. It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. So we move on. Now we're on the platinum board where I start getting tingles on my spine. You're going to click on the legend button. You're going to give that person $5,000. Again, you may know them, you may not know them, doesn't really matter. You're going to gift unconditionally the $5,000. They are just absolutely doing the happy dance. And when they exit the board, they're going to have $40,000. Why is that? 8 gifts, 5,000, 40 grand. There's where it is. And what are you going to do after that? Well, it's just as simple as this. Rinse and repeat, except one thing. You've completed round 1. You're going to hold back $5,000. Well, why don't I hold back more than just 5? Because there is no more boards. We've reached the pinnacle, okay? And it's big enough. Believe me, it's big enough. This hasn't even been done before from what I understand. I've never been in a gifting idea before, and I love it. I'll probably never, hopefully we can make this one last forever if we do the right things. So you're going to hold back that $5,000 so that you can enter the perpetual platinum board and your gifts in pocket are 35 grand. What? Over and over and over and over again. You guys, this is one of the best income earning, or I shouldn't even put it that way. This is one of the best gifting opportunities. The ability for you to earn money while you're not looking, the ability for dollars to show up in your mailbox while you're golfing, fishing, being the digital nomad, walking your dogs, whatever it is that is your passion. When you can go on vacation and come back and you have more money than when you left, yay, we have accomplished what we're looking for. A perpetual, residual, system-driven way to make sure that our families and the families of others are financially healthy. So that's how that works. And it can keep on going to infinity. I love those infinity signs, right? And that's how this whole deal works. So in just a quick recap, make your decision quickly. It's $100 bill. Now, I'm not downplaying how much that might be in some cultures, but it's $100, you guys. I promise you, it's not that much money. And you're going to be able to make your trips through the board by doing what? By plugging into a system, by plugging into these calls, you don't need to explain this. Bring these people, bring your folks to these calls. And we'll do the explaining for you in a way that you probably couldn't explain to your friend. Okay, remember, it's your friend. Your friend knows you as you are. All right, let them listen to people that they don't know. It will be more impactful. So that's how it works. 42,700 the first time at a minimum. Second time through as a perpetual, 49.7. I said 42.9. I got dyslexic there. Just know this, it's more money. It's simply more money. So I'm fired up about it because I know people, it doesn't require any special skills or anything. You've got 2 friends that want to win. I promise you do. Okay. I know you do. And probably a lot more than that. So that's how it works.
Amazing. Alan, that was so amazingly well put together. If anybody isn't fired up on that, watch the recording. The recording will come out. There's a lot of nuggets which we shared there. You may want to see this again. And if you're looking going, it's not believable, hang around. We got some testimonials. Join one of our Telegram groups. Hear from the people in the community, the reality of it. So fantastic stuff. Let's go through a couple of things here to recap, and understanding that you're required to bring 2, as Alan said. Even if that's the only thing that you do, I'd recommend you bring a lot more, but just start there. And as you learn the system, so you can welcome new people in. It must be clearly understood, in order for you to advance to the next board, in order for you to get onto a perpetual board, you do need to have brought in 2. If you don't bring in your 2 at that point, it means you're not, as Alan said, doing your part. You're going to be sidelined. You're just going to be held on the side until you're ready. Once you've introduced your 2, then you can progress. Now, it's not something I would recommend doing, because you're going to have to hold back and be looking after $500. Otherwise, you've got to find it somewhere. So do it right from the beginning. Follow the system as it goes. We've got this training and education. And as Alan said, let us do the work for you. That's why we're here on a Friday, sharing an hour with you, so that you don't have to be the magic. Let those who have been through the system before do that work for you. Then you can get on the perpetual boards. And when you become a legend on the perpetual and the 8 gifters come in, that's when the board splits and you get the opportunity to join the boards. So remember, you do not require more people once you advance. And the only money that you ever need to put in is on the very first board for $100. So what makes us slightly different? Well, very user-friendly, and it's exactly as Alan said. It is a very simple system. Now, I've been multi-level marketing and network marketing in many different structures before, and sometimes I found that they all got very confusing with all these different levels and income streams when you did this and this. This is a simple, as Alan said, I'm going to borrow it, rinse and repeat. Just a rinse and repeat, and so user-friendly. It's a fail-safe system where the algorithms have been written that it just flows. And being such a simple system, it means that it will just carry on, and there's no reason why it should stop. So we've got this fantastic thing called cross-pollination. I'm not going to go into detail about it right now for those who are new, but join some of the training to understand why this is such an important part of what we have here, which helps all of these boards to not get stuck. If you've been around a gifting community before, perhaps you're going, yeah, but they get stuck if people don't do anything. Well, naturally, it's like a business. Any business that you have, you got a hair salon, you have no clients, you speak to no people, you don't do any marketing, you don't get any people in. What happens? Nothing. However, we've got a very unique algorithm here that will always help the oldest boards move. So that in the end, we don't want anybody really to be left behind, but why hang around waiting for months for something to happen based upon the work of other people? You participate, join the global community, benefit for yourself, and then help those. As you've seen, we're a global community, and there's different cultures, different languages all over the world. So if you are communicating, or somebody wants to gift you, or you're gifting another legend, and they are in a completely different country, and if English is your first language and it's not theirs, just be patient, as there may be just some challenges. Communication, that's one of the things that I've also had to learn is you've got Google Translate, and there's another one which a lot of people use as well. So just understanding that we're international communities. So don't limit yourself to 2. We've already been through that and described it. The more you benefit and help the $100 boards, the quicker it moves. And what is also very important is each of the people you add in. So let's say you bring in 4 or 6 or 8 people. All the people that they bring in will help you move forward as well. So if you just bring in 2, that's great. Help them bring in their 2, power of 2, fantastic. But if you then bring in 6 and each bring in their 2, that's 12. You're going to move through the $100, $400, $1,600 boards a lot quicker. We've got a fantastic support team. It's alive, real people. Now, over time, we hope that it's not going to need to be manned by anybody, because they are all volunteers. And as Alan said, thank you already to a huge part of the community who actually contribute and give out their personal time for no gain, no income, in order to make sure that this whole system operates beautifully and to help all the new people come in and understand. It's all volunteers. We're always looking for new volunteers. Please do put up your hand, but be patient with them, as they are community members just like you and have to do the same as you, bring in their 2, and follow the system. We've got a wonderful fast track element. Now, this is for those people who are really passionate about helping multiples. Maybe you've done multi-level marketing, you have a big network. There is a structure where you can fast track through the boards. So if you've brought in 4 people, you can move over to the silver board quicker. If you've got 6, the gold board, and platinum, the 8 people you can bring in, you can move over to the platinum board. However, it must be noted, only once you've actually got the money. You don't go and bring in 8 people that you just made up. And in order to jump to the platinum board and sit there, you've got to progress through all of the boards first. But when you join a board, you only ever join a board when you have the gift to gift. And that is such an important one. So treat the legend as you would like to be treated by the gifters as they join a board as well. So there's more training on that on our YouTube channel. Now, a couple of important things here. Sharing with like-minded people. Alan's spoken about that. Right? No point in sharing with somebody through social media who you've never met. You're going to attract other people from social media that you don't know. And then what we've found from experience is that you don't necessarily attract the like-hearted, like-minded people, which is about giving and receiving. So then that's why we absolutely have a very strict policy. Please, no social media marketing. It is person to person. You're going to find somebody, you're going to meet them, you're going to build a relationship with them. They may be a close friend of yours or family member. Those are the people that you want, the people that you know of like-minded. Because we don't want space fillers. You're not going to put in your 86-year-old granny, unless 86-year-old granny is going to bring in their 2 people. You're not going to put your 5-year-old daughter and your budgie in there. They're not going to bring anybody in. You don't fill a space. That is very, very short-term mindset. And we're here for the long term. So you want to make sure that it's a real, like-minded, like-hearted person who's then going to duplicate the system. Okay? Be the messenger, not the message. You don't have to go and explain this to everybody. Bring them on a Zoom. Share the 7-minute video with them. When they go, that's interesting, I'd like to know more. Well, say, great. I'd love you to come and meet Alan. He's doing a presentation this evening, 8 o'clock. He's got experience in it. Great guy, businessman, family, man of faith. Listen to what he has to say. And from there, we can take it further. How does that sound? Quite simple. Get them onto the calls. Invite people to these Zooms. Bring them here at least 3 times a week. Remain connected. It's such an important part. When you stay connected, you're following on the Zooms, you're joining the training. It moves from your head to your heart. And when that happens, that's when you have momentum. A great stepping stone to start with is the AIDA training that Chris and Candace did a while ago on the YouTube channel, how to take people from getting their attention, their interest, their desire to action. This is just some of the training that we have for you. So, Alan, do you want to close off here? And then we're going to talk for the last 5 minutes. We're running out of time here. We're running out of time on something new that's come in.
Yep. I will be happy to do that. I just posted in the chat because I love what you said. You know, you got to stay around the fire to stay warm. I like to say it this way. Remember, you got to stay plugged in to remain lit. All right. Everybody has the ability to have their excitement wane a little bit, but when that's what these things are for, and everybody on here that donates their time to put them on appreciates the support that each and every one of you bring, because I can tell you this much. My first time at looking at this, there was over 300 people on the Zoom. I was like, well, I got to do this. 300 people can't be wrong. I mean, I didn't really get halfway through the first 4 slides. I go, well, this is crazy. This many people can't be out of their mind. So that, I mean, that was all it took for me, right? And the fact that it was $100 meant nothing to me at that point either. So in closing, it's important to understand that there are no guarantees. You guys look, like yourself, Tim, I spent my time licking my wounds from being an MLM. Now, I say that tongue in cheek because I was successful at it, but that ain't what it's about, you guys. It's not about one guy that can make money, 3 guys in a team of 4,300 that can make money. It's about everybody having an equal opportunity to win. And that's what we have here. But here's the reality. You're asking yourself right now, if you're new on this call, I wonder if this really works. I'm asking you, are you going to work? Okay. If you don't do your part, it does not work. It will not work. Yeah, you'll get through the boards one time. It'll be slow. Everybody will be, you know, wishing that you would participate. Let me put it to you that way. And then you'll be sidelined. But if you want what we showed during those, boards, go to work. It does work. The success or failure of any participants depends on their willingness to help others, right? And follow the ethical principles of Gift of Legacy. Remember, live your life by a high standard. Do not compromise that for anyone or anything. Set your goals to be living the best life that you can live, and live by that. And that's the kind of thing that Gift of Legacy is looking for. It remains an individual participant's responsibility to ensure compliance. Everybody says this, well, what about taxes? I don't know. I have an accountant. I told my accountant was doing this. Her response was, wow, that sounds really cool. Make sure you send me everything that happens. After that, I trust her to do the work. I don't know what the tax laws are in your country. I know they're ridiculous in my own, but that's just how it works. Okay. Gift of Legacy is a decentralized platform. Buzzword, keyword, but really an idea. Decentralization is an incredible thing. There's no third-party affiliation. There's no corporate structure, none of that, ownership or partnership. And besides that, you guys, once you've been through a bronze board once, you are playing with house money, so to speak. You're free and clear. Once you have one gift back, your initial out of pocket, you're clean. So if you're joining Gift of Legacy via a third party or part of a package, you do so at your own risk. There's one way to make this happen. It's by invitation only. It's by a friend that you know, a relationship that you have that thinks enough of you to bring you alongside of them in something that they have a heart for. That's the only way you should ever join, my opinion. Okay. Gift of Legacy is 100% peer-to-peer. Yay. No funds are ever paid to the platform. Incredible. What does that mean? Well, we're going to touch on that on the next few slides, but the reality of it is that's still not free. Okay, it's like my kids and turning on the lights. What do you mean you have to pay to have the lights on? Okay, I thought we just flipped a switch and the lights came on. Well, yeah, they do, and somebody starts counting the meter, right? The servers and all the infrastructure and everything that is being done here is not free. They're shouldering that burden on their own. So we have come together with something Tim is going to talk about that I think is super important. We have a bunch of Zoom links. Make sure you screenshot this page, super important. We have it in, all kinds of different languages that if you are part of that, we have a whole bunch more coming. So if you're out there and you think you want to do this and you speak one of those languages or you need it in your area, okay, be the leader of your area, start to develop, get a hold of some of the guys and gals that can help you do that. Okay. The official Telegram groups, make sure you're a part of those. I still have some of my guys saying, well, when's that presentation? I'm like, ugh. All right. That means that they're not plugged in. Plug yourself in so that you know. The Gift of Legacy official community. You love that. The Gift of Legacy, the GL official info only, which guys, if you're one of these people, and I know we have a bunch of million different distractions. The reality of it is some of these are simply what they call a broadcast message. You need to know that. Okay. Put these things in your calendar. Guess what? I looked at it once. I put it in my phone perpetually from now and forever. I get a notification on my phone. I don't even need to know that. I suggest you do the same. Treat it real because it is real. Okay, so moving on from there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I sprechen Sie not that Englishy. Okay, so I do know one phrase in German that I can't say. All right, and then there was a song by some group that I can't say that either. But anyways, you guys, we are doing everything that we can. Again, all donated from people's time to be able to facilitate and there's great new leaders coming from countries that are helping us make this happen. Are you starting to feel the heart, the vibration, the frequency with which this whole thing is about? I hope you are. Okay, because all this was done, gratis. No money, because people have a heart for others. So Gift of Legacy is not a company, nor is it a business, nor is it owned by anyone. It's a community. We have a very unique algorithm, which is one of the things that they're looking at right now and making more robust, managing our global gifting activity. And this is hosted on a platform that is paid for out of the pockets of those that wrote the software. So we're going to try and help them with that a little bit. To date, the nonprofit company that is managed at the core of this team has generously been covering these critical costs. And guys, I come from an IT world, not cheap, okay? Not a cheap thing, okay? So if you'd like to contribute towards that fund, it'd be greatly appreciated. Oh, this is where I was supposed to turn it over to you, Tim.
All right, you're doing so well. Keep going.
Yeah, it would go a long, long way, because you guys, look, say thank you, not in the form of, oh, there it is. I mean, there might be some of you guys on here that are cynical and go, I knew there was a catch. They're going to ask for a donation. Okay, let me tell you something. This thing is growing at such a pace that all of us that are enjoying the fruits of what is happening here, because we are helping and putting in the labor that it takes to succeed, need to pay very close attention to that link at the bottom and show some love. You know, it's like Candace said the other day, and I loved it. All right. A little bit of a lot is a lot. Imagine 200,000 people donating $5. Crazy. We would have the most robust servers and system for years and years to come. It doesn't take a lot. So don't feel like, well, gee whiz, this is all I can afford. Now, look, again, if your brain works the way mine does, and I hope that it doesn't for your sake, but if it does, and you have the ability to do more than that, do what makes your heart warm. It's for you. It's liberating to know that you're a part of something larger. So go to that link. Don't jack around. Give them some money. All right.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. So well, once you're getting $400 gifts coming in, that's where, that's what the guys are saying. By all means, gift it on. That would be greatly appreciated. I know what's been put in the background of this in order to get it going. I know some of what's being put through there. And it's not a requirement by any means, but here's what it's about: love heart. I think this is what's so powerfully brought to us last week. It was the Gracious Givers Movement. It's a nonprofit. This is a nonprofit that actually runs in the background of Gift of Legacy and the platform and maintains in order to run smoothly. And what they've done is introduce these love heart positions. Now, love heart position is a charity or a charitable organization that you have close to heart, that you would like to have help by connecting them and plugging them into our network and our system. However, with a couple of big advantages, and the main one being that this position won't need to have two invitees. So just like when you join and you're going to bring in your two, you need to help them bring their two in, et cetera, et cetera. However, with a love heart position, it's not about that. It's not about building a network for them. It's about plugging them into the system so they can also gain financially from the gifts as it progresses. So this is where we've got something massive, which is really, when I was first introduced or told about this, I was kindly invited to be part of the Love Heart initial portion of it. And it was very profound that what was very clear is that this is not about you or me. Yes, it starts there, but it's about everybody else. So what will happen is, if you've got, I think there we go, that's one of them. If once you're part of a community and you've brought in your two and you're beginning to understand it, you have a charity or a church or a caregiver, a school, a soup kitchen. There's an example of them on the screen, but it's not limited to that. Can be anybody, can be any organization. Maybe there's a member of your community that has got massive medical bills and they need help from there. You can then put forward by going onto the graciousgivenmovement.org Love Heart, and you can put in the application that you want that person or organization to be put into the system. You putting forward would pay that or gift that $100 in. So that's your contribution. However, that position then doesn't need to find the two. What would happen is then, as more Love Heart positions or Love Heart requests come in, they're then going to fill the position underneath there. So we're going to be creating boards which are going to move very fast through the Love Heart structure. This is not about you and your network and your people. This is about those others less fortunate that we're going to then help bring in. And what I'm actually going to do, the reason why I jumped forward, we're going to close on thank you. The reason why I jumped forward is I'm going to share with you a testimonial that came through. I don't know if you've seen it, Alan. It literally came through 2 minutes before we went live. I'm just going to see if I can find my WhatsApp here. I want to share. I need to share my sound. This is a testimonial that came through with the Love Heart position, the Gracious Gifters, which helped a non-profit animal shelter in South Africa, an area called Hartbeespoort, they put out today. They urgently needed funds in order to remain open and going. They've got multiple animals, from wolves to wild animals, and they needed. And when, oh dear, Zoom's not going to allow me to do this. Let me see if I can get it going. Alan, tell me, can you hear and see this?
Yes.
All right, just downloading. This literally came through a few minutes ago. This is how real it is.
Hi everyone, Lex from All Arts Foundation. We just want to give a quick shout out to Just One Thing 365 and Gracious Gifters Movement for their very generous donation today in aid of saving our home and our sanctuary. Just a big shout out and a big thank you from Pack One and all of the animals at All Arts Foundation. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
That's what it's about.
That is sweet.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
somebody who has
sure.
no idea what our community is, you can introduce them, bring them in. That's what the Love Heart position's about and what Gracious Gifters is. And Petra putting a heart out there on the chat box. Thank you so much. Her nonprofit is actually 1365, and it was her that brought this forward to the community. So thank you so much there, Petra, as well. And that's the bigger picture. That is the bigger picture. So I think we're actually over time, but there's a message that needed to be shared. And I must say it's been a privilege, and I hope to share the virtual stage with you once more one day, Alan.
Yeah, so apparently the boss of all of this, Candace, she said she wants to pencil me in on every Friday. So yeah, I'd love to, man. I really enjoyed the energy between the two of us. It was great. Anytime I can help you guys, I'm here to help.
That's what it's all about. Anybody else are welcome to put their hands up. So I think we're heading for a fantastic weekend. It's very important that we really punt Monday evening. So 7 p.m. South African time. So that's GMT +2. Then what time that is where you are, Alan, where Candace has her fantastic meditation. She's all about the giving, the heart, the nature. Join her on her call from 7 till 8. And then 8 till 9 is Chris. Chris and Candace, 8 till 9 on Monday is a must for the latest updates on the system, the freshest information and news. This is a call that we need to get thousands of people onto. It's the call that everybody's been waiting for, and is going to be giving us all the updates and the information. So until Monday, 7 o'clock, Alan, I bid you a fantastic Friday and weekend. It's been a privilege. And
my pleasure, Tim. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.